Now, who are Flat Earth FC? And I'm delighted to be joined by Charlie Carmichael from Copa90, who's going to talk us through this club in Madrid who have been making press for their name and for their owner. Charlie, thanks very much for coming on.
No, my pleasure.
Firstly, talk to us a little bit about the background of this club, because they're called Flat Earth FC, but they always haven't been called that. They were a club beforehand.
Yeah, so I think the best place to start is actually with the chairman who took over in 2014. So his name is Javi Povez. He was a Spanish central defender who had a relatively successful youth career. He played for Sporting Gijón, came through the youth academy there, and then made one professional appearance for them in La Liga, and retired after that at the age of 23, which obviously raised a few eyebrows. A bit about his background. So when he received his first paycheck in Sporting, he refused it on the basis that he doesn't believe in the bank transfer system in Spain. He doesn't vote, as he rejects conventional politics and parliament. And he also refused a company car on the basis that he already drove a smart car and it would be overly materialistic to own too. So it starts to give you a bit of a background as to who this kind of character is. So in his words, he quits as football is capitalism and capitalism is death, which is an interesting soundbite for you. So then he quit professional football entirely to travel the world. And upon his return, he came to Madrid and settled there. And then he came across a Spanish side that were residing in the 6th division called Móstoles Balompié, a provincial team on the suburbs of Madrid. And in 2015, I believe, he became the chairman of Móstoles Balompié. And he actually was relatively successful, oversaw 2 promotions into the Spanish 4th tier. And it's here, actually, in 2019, when they achieved their promotion, that he decided to rebrand the club. But it wasn't just any rebrand, obviously. He turned the club's name into Flat Earth FC, based obviously on the conspiracy theory, of which he is a big advocate of. He's on record as saying he doesn't believe in the curvature of water. He says he doesn't see it in his glasses of water. He doesn't see it in his bathtub. And he's wondering at what scale does water curve.
Yeah, and that's actually, sorry to interrupt, that's actually in the video on Copa90 that he's explaining why he believes in the flat earth, but he doesn't seem to see the irony in that the curve is caused by gravity, and gravity plays a large part in the sport of football.
No, and there's actually some funny comments, as you can imagine, under the video, sort of saying that they must be great from corners, fantastic that they've got a global fan base, all of these sort of things. But yes, the irony does certainly seem to be lost on him, but the more he gets called crazy, the more it seems to empower him and motivate him to sort of push the club more boldly and strongly. He points to links that Pep Guardiola is called crazy by large sections of the media. And he kind of sees himself not as a tactical, integral genius as Pep Guardiola is, but in the same method that the media will brand anyone crazy who has outlandish and out there ideas.
So here's the interesting part about this story is that his background, by all accounts, he is anti-establishment, he doesn't agree with capitalism, as he said, but this story and changing the club's name to Flat Earth, he said it was picked up by 105 of 110 countries when it first came out, and the club as a business has grown infinitely. So do you think this may have been a ploy from him, or does he genuinely believe in the theory?
Obviously, it's only speculating. You can only go on what he says, but I do believe he genuinely believes in the conspiracy theory. Obviously, it has propelled the club, as you say, to new heights in terms of they've attracted fans from all over the world. He actually has claimed that he believes they're in the top 10 most supported teams in Spanish football right now, on the basis of that they have a lot of flat earthers fans around the world. They all make a symbol, which is this, if you can see me, a flat earth sign. And they also sing about flat earth at games. There was no season ticket sales before the rebrand, and now they have a few hundred people attending games who are signed up to season tickets. So as you can see, he's grown this quite a lot, and he's actually attracted quite high-profile support as well. Coco Basile, who used to be the Argentine manager, has come out as a flat earth conspiracy advocate, and he's also given his backing to Povez and the club.
The club itself play in the Tercera division, which is the 4th division in the Spanish tiers. But there's quite a number of groups in that as well, so it's not as easy as just getting promoted into the 2nd division B. How close are they in relation to that? How good are they in terms of against the other clubs? I think they're currently sitting in 10th in the table, so it's not looking like they're going to be an automatic promotion spot, because I think he believes that they can eventually go on to win the Champions League.
Yeah, and he's actually drawn parallels with Brian Clough's Nottingham Forest and how they came up from the second division and then obviously went on to win the first division and the Champions League. It's obviously very lofty ambitions, but as you say, at the minute, it doesn't look like any time soon forthcoming. They're currently mid-table, dead 10th in the Spanish fourth division, and as you alluded to, even if you win the division, you have to go through a playoff system, as there are numerous different divisions within that. So it doesn't look like happening in the immediate future, but they have just got promoted into that division, and they have got 2 promotions to their name in the past 5 seasons. So they are on an upward trajectory.
And apart from the president or the chairman, are the players flat earth believers, or are they just regular players in the Spanish league as well?
So my understanding is it's a bit of a mix. I think when the rebrand first took place, a lot of the players decided to jump ship, as their obviously beliefs didn't align with the club anymore. But a few of them are sceptics. But I don't think that Poves's minds, if his players don't fully sort of back the conspiracy theory. He just wants them to continually question things and not accept what the media say at large as fact.
And how does this work in terms of rules? Because I was reading that he himself said that he could run into bother if they do get into the higher divisions in Spanish League, that the Spanish Federation might not be too happy with the name, and that, for example, you couldn't name a team Anti-Vaxxers FC.
Yeah, sure. So I'm not too sure, obviously, on the regulations. If they were to climb through the leagues, obviously this sort of thing hasn't been done before. I guess the only loose comparison you can draw is RB Leipzig, obviously taken over by Red Bull in Germany, and the official meaning of RB being Racing Bull Sport instead of Red Bull, but obviously a clear sign. So whether they'd have to adapt their name slightly, but still maintain the philosophy, I'm not too sure.
So you're a journalist for Copa 90, and obviously anybody who's familiar with the work Copa 90 do is global. It's all the stories out there that you may not usually see in the mainstream media. What's it like kind of working with that? How do you delve into these stories?
So it's interesting. Obviously, we have contacts around the world. We're always on the lookout for stories. So if anyone's got anything interesting from any 4 corners of the planet that they're interested in telling us, they can obviously contact us. We have details on our website about that. And yeah, if people are interested in telling a story, we're interested in putting some budget behind it and obviously actually telling that and bringing it to the attention of others.
So what's that like as you said yourself you're a Leicester City fan, but so do you follow football from all over the globe, all the different leagues and all that as well?
Yeah, so obviously we have a few presenters who work for the behind the videos. Obviously Derby Days perhaps being our biggest piece of content. And obviously they're far more in tune and plugged in with global football culture as a whole. I myself, I like to say I watch my fair share of football, every single Leicester game. I watch a lot of Europe's top 5 leagues. But I wouldn't say in comparison to some other people in the office that I have a absolutely encyclopedic knowledge of the global game.
Charlie Carmichael, thanks very much for coming on the show.
My pleasure.